David Benavidez has been working even harder than usual in the gym, training towards one of the largest examinations of his existence. His training camp has been as inhuman as anything: protracted sparring bouts, a heavy bag that reverberates through the walls, and conditioning that brings him as near exhaustion as possible. In the instance of Benavidez, it is not only about sharpening his tools, but also a statement about this camp. The years of shouting out the best and getting no response are over, as he now has a fight that can prompt the boxing world to remember why he has always been regarded as one of the most dangerous men in the world of boxing. Recently, Benavidez issued a very strong statement that he was approaching the fight like a battle, and when he was in the ring, he was fully prepared. He talked as though his training, concentration, and purpose were raised to the top, and his idea was to demonstrate that his training was commensurate to the occasion, and that he was determined to stamp himself on the first ring of the bell.
Anthony Yarde, I know you're gonna come 100% prepared for this fight, but guess what? We're gonna be 100% prepared too. If you want to go to war, let's go to war. Let's give the people what they want to see.
Yarde had replied with passion and feeling that the fact that Benavidez seemed not to respect him had kindled a flame in him. All the interviews and training videos were full of his appetite and concentration, and it was only to demonstrate the fact that this fight was not just another fight, but rather the event of his career.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. I feel like he real recognized real. I respect David Benavidez. If he don't respect me already, I'm sure after the fight he would definitely have to respect me.
Yarde showed confidence in his words and body language as he made it clear that he was well locked and he was going to make a statement. He used extravagant scales with aggressive language to indicate that he was going to retaliate in a decisive, no-holds-barred manner.
You know in Cray Twins, when one of the brothers says, I want a fucking shootout, let's have a shootout. Give me a shootout. I will stand in the middle, he's gonna stand in the middle, and we have a shootout. I'll bring my AK-47 to Tommy, the shotty, and he brings his artillery, and we have a shootout. Give the fans what they want to see.
Anthony Yarde had also demonstrated pure determination when he prepared to clash with David Benavidez in the Ring 4 over the world title. All interviews and training videos presented his hunger and concentration, as it was possible to see that he perceived this fight as not only another battle, but the peak of his career. Yarde exuded a confident presence in his words and body language and made it clear that he was locked in and prepared to make a statement. Coach Bredman had shared his honest assessment of the matchup between David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde, highlighting the difference in endurance and momentum between the two fighters. He explained that Benavidez's power and stamina often gave him the upper hand as the fights went on. He said, I like Benavidez. I think Benavidez is a little bit too strong down the stretch. I think Yarde is a little bit of a spent bullet. All the major division conversations were talking about Benavidez for months. He was the one who no one wanted to confront, a ferocious, pressure-inducing, lightning-fast, powerful, and has a gas tank that does not appear to run out. Coach Bredman provided an in-depth insight into what made him so threatening and underestimated. He noted that people did not pay much attention to the technical aspects of Benavidez's game, as many people tended to notice his aggression. Bredman pointed out that Benavidez had a much better defense, jabby, and ring IQ than fans would have imagined, and his never-give-up attitude made him stand out among other players.
I like Benavidez. I think Benavidez is the real deal. I do. I think he's a little bit underrated with certain things. I think his defense is better than people think it is. I think that His jab is better than people think it is. I think his instinct and his IQ is higher than people think it is. And I think he got the most fighting spirit in the world.
Coach Bredman explained why David Benavidez was such a tough challenge to deal with within the ring. He observed that Benavidez did not give his opponents a chance to create a rhythm and take the lead. He always figured out how to halt them before they got into trouble. Bredman praised the mental toughness and competition fire of Benavidez to the extent that he equated his bootstrapping determination to boxing star Evander Holyfield.
He never allows himself to like the other guy to get too much momentum in the fight. Like every time you try to get a volley going or whatever, he just boom, he just stop you like, all right, we're not doing this right now. He's not gonna lose 3 rounds in a row. He's very, very the only word I could come up with is fighting spirit. He got a lot of fighting spirit. He reminds me a little bit of Holyfield in that way. And yeah, you know, I think he's gonna beat Yarde, and I would slightly favor him over Bivol and Beterbiev.
The star athletes in and around his weight period have been known to orbit around him, but have never signed the contract. However, that wait has come to an end with Anthony Yarde taking the stage, a fighter made of the same cloth of aggression, power, and hunger. Coach Bredman also gave his opinion about Anthony Yarde and highlighted his strong and weak points as a fighter. He admitted that Yarde began fights very well, but he tended to weaken in the course of the round, mostly because of his massive physique. Bredman admired the possibility of Yarde winning the fight based on his shoulder roll defense against a high volume puncher like Benavidez.
I think he's a little you know, he's good in the early rounds and he fades a little bit too much. He got the heavy muscles. I don't know if you can fight Benavidez in that shoulder roll. I think Benavidez is the real deal. I think Benavidez should be on the pound for pound list. I think he's one of the best fighters in the world. And I think he's gonna beat Yarde. I actually think he beat Beterbiev at Bivol.
This duel did not take place in a day. The boxing business is hardly ever easy, and in the instance of Benavidez, it has been very frustrating. His reign in super middleweight meant that there were few people ready to be in the same ring with him. He was considered too risky to many, not a mega draw, yet too good to be bet on. Anthony Yarde had indicated in one of his media press conferences that he was going to give David Benavidez a full-scale war in the ring before they clashed. He said it would not be a patient and wait till you can open battle, but a battle of strength and bravery and determination.
We have to wait and see. Keep him off of me, push him back. He said that he's coming forward. I said I'm coming forward. I said in the UK there was 2 twins named Cray twins. Don't know if you've seen the movie Legend. And then one of the twins say, I don't know if I can swear, but I want a shootout. And that's what I want. I want to shoot out. He wants to shoot out. Bring the artillery.
When the thought of confronting Anthony Yarde was mentioned, it did not take long to notice. Yarde was tough, having the strength of an explosion and a fearless nature, which is not the kind of person to shy away when it comes to a contest. He is no stranger to the high-profile opposition of the elite, and he knows what attention such a fight attracts. As a marketing strategy, the combat was logical. Ade Oladipo shared his perspective on the face-off between David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde. He spoke of the mood as being electric, of each man measuring the other, attempting to gauge the strength and confidence without a word spoken. Oladipo also indicated that though Benavidez seemed to be in his right mind, he was obviously taken aback by the presence of Yarde, with his sheer size and strength.
And I said to Benavidez, have you ever seen Yarde before? He said, no, this is my first time seeing him right now. I was like, ooh, what's that like when fighters see each other? He's like, no, you know, we size each other up a little bit. So Yarde walks in. So Benavidez is here, staring, waiting. Yarde walks in. Obviously, I greet Yarde, Yarde greets me. And then they have this little moment. It might have only been about 5 or 10 seconds where they kind of stare at each other and then they kind of embrace. But it was that 5 or 10 seconds where I was like, whoa, these guys are they're literally sizing each other up.
He complimented Yarde about appearing in phenomenal shape and termed him as being one of the most athletically built fighters in the division, and how this collision just brought more hype to an already hot fight.
Yarde is enormous for light heavyweight. Like Yarde's back is like that. It's like a bodybuilder's back. And you can kind of see them size each other up, but it was respectful. It wasn't no David Morrell, David Benavidez situation. It was very respectful. And the face-off was respectful. I'd love to tell you guys that the face-off was electric and a f***ing table flip. No, no, no.
We all know that Benavidez comes into this battle as the invincible monster that has crushed almost all his opponents. He is very tall with a long reach and phenomenal volume punching. He has endless combinations which overwhelm rivals. His size or his power is not what makes him special, and it is his calmness when he is under fire. Tunde Ajayi gave an energetic talk regarding the impending confrontation between Anthony Yarde and David Benavidez, explaining how their styles suited each other so well to deliver a very violent fight. He described how the two fighters had a personal sense of aggression and fearlessness, which could make this fight one of the most exciting bouts the sport of boxing had been through in the past 10 years.
I feel like in terms of Ant and David, you have, as you said, I actually think this could be like the best fight in the last 10 years, because you've got styles make fights, right? So it wasn't me, it was Ant who said he wants a shootout, and Ant means it. He actually means it. David Benavidez, you know he ain't backing down from no fight.
Tunde Ajayi went on to say that this matchup had all the makings of a true fan favorite clash. He noted that both fighters' teams shared mutual respect, which added a sense of professionalism and pride to the buildup. Ajayi believed that this combination of respect outside the ring and aggression inside it would create something special for boxing fans around the world, turning the fight into more than just a contest. It would be a spectacle, he claimed. So it's shaping up to be such a great contest for the fans, because I think that both camps respect. Tunde Ajayi proceeded to give a great defense of the two fighters against those who underemphasized the validity of the match. He rejected the notion that either of the two men found his way to the top, and they needed to be truly hungry, disciplined, and hearted in attaining this goal in boxing. Ajayi was explicit that nobody just found himself here by chance or matchmaking preferential treatment. Every success was hard-won and persevered.
I've got nothing but admiration and respect for Jose Benavidez Sr. Just based on everyone's got a story. Everyone has come from. Everyone at this level has been through adversity, most times outside of the ring, to get to this level. So nobody is here by abracadabra. It ain't or as I heard, oh yeah, Yarde, his matchmaking has been perfect. His matches make it okay. If it's as easy as that, you just pick a match and then you fight for a free world title. But I'm giving you the opportunity to go and do it. Go try and do it if it's that easy. It's not easy. These guys are where they are because they want it. They want it in their soul.
Yarde, on the contrary, has made his own name in another part of the boxing world. That is how the British fighter constructed his fame, combining brutal sportiveness, punching strength, and showbiz that illuminates the stage. Anthony Yarde spoke with deep conviction about his mindset and the values that guided his career. He explained that once he chose to step into the boxing world, he committed himself fully to the fighter's life, ready to face anyone, anywhere, without fear or hesitation. Yarde emphasized that he was driven by courage and the constant desire to achieve greatness, regardless of public opinion or criticism. To him, fighting wasn't just a job, it was part of who he was.
I don't just say I'm a fighter at heart. I come into the sport once I made the decision that I will fight anybody. And I don't care about what no one thinks, I don't care about the opinion of others. I will always dare to be great, always. It's in my heart, it's now embedded in my DNA.
Anthony Yarde then proceeded to pay tribute to David Benavidez by admitting that his opponent was sharp and professional. He observed that Benavidez came to the fight with a strategic attitude and was not in any way underrating him. Yarde told me that once they met, he was able to feel that Benavidez perceived him as a real threat, which only made him even more motivated.
I feel like Benavidez, again, he's analytical, you know. I don't feel like he's overlooking me at all. He's giving me a lot of respect. And when you come face to face with somebody and you talk to them, you know that they're seeing you as a threat. I wasn't the first option for him. He just wanted a fight. Turkey Al Sheikh wanted me for this fight. So again, the way it's all happened, I can only be happy.
The peculiarity of this confrontation is the collision of strengths. The volume and pressure by Benavidez will challenge the stamina and defense of Yarde as never before, and Benavidez's power and timing will show the times when Yarde becomes overconfident during an exchange. Andre Rosier also expressed his opinion of the fight to come, saying that David Benavidez was the one most likely to win. According to him, it would be hard to beat Benavidez as he is now formidable in his shape in the hands of Anthony Yarde. Rosier was a strong lifelong supporter of the all-around ability of Benavidez and said that the level of his power plus accuracy and calmness made him outstanding among the elite.
Good fight.
What are your thoughts on it?
Remember we spoke, nephew, I told you I have to be an eternal fan to Benavidez now. Guy's been doing his thing, he comes in and he's corruptive in the ring, he's destructive in the ring, he's like a force of nature in the ring. I gotta give him his big ups. And I think that this is gonna be a very exciting fight, but I think that Benavidez is gonna overwhelm Yarde and possibly get him out of there. But I have him winning the fight.
Stylistically, it is a good contrast. The storm that never ends and the lightning that comes out of thin air. Both men are also known to be offensive and instinctive, and therefore, the fans can anticipate heavy interactions and minimal hesitation. No one can be sure that this one can run the distance. Simon Jordan had triggered an outburst by Tunde Ajaya when he claimed bravely that all the best fighters in the division had declined an opportunity to fight David Benavidez. He indicated that Benavidez had been shunned several times, even after establishing himself as one of the most violent men in boxing.
Every fighter turned down David Benavidez, including Bivol, including Benavidez, including Joshua Buatsi, including Callum Smith. At the first call, David Benavidez' dad said it. Within 5 minutes, Turki Al-Sheikh asks Anthony, does he want the fight? And guess what? The fight was made. So Ant is there, Spence, and he always has been there. He's a fighter through and through.
This was said in the midst of a heated argument on whether Anthony Yarde had chosen to take the fight or not, with Jordan giving Yarde credit because he was the one to step up where other people had not. His remark was controversial, but it also emphasized how much respect Benavidez had in the sport.
That's good to hear. Simon, here's the thing. Anthony Yarde, when he's fought the likes of Kovalev and Benavidez, he, as Tunde has alluded to, he's not afraid to go in there. And he's had some big moments against big opponents. Is he world level?
Yeah, of course he is. Of course he's world level. He's been, but the thing with, and Tunde and I will disagree on this, he's been a gallant loser. He's got a lot of currency out of being very competitive in fights with very good fighters.
There is still a buildup of tension as the fight night nears. All the quotes, all the training videos, all the stargazes just add fire. Benavidez is aware that a win here will bring him nearer to the untainted title shots that he has been pursuing all his years. To Yarde, victory would put his career into a new picture as a reputable fighter in the eyes of the world. With the hype comes the fact that the fight between David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde is no longer a mere fight, but one that is fought over pride, legacy, and legitimacy. It is a matter of proving something by both men, Benavidez seeking to establish his authority, and Yarde just set out to shut down his critics and prove to the world that it is his time in the spotlight. Fight fans then, who wins? Will Yarde crumble under the massive pressure of Benavidez, or will the power serve as a shock to the world? Leave your predictions in the comments. Press that like button in case you are willing to fight, and remember to subscribe to all the updates that will lead to this bang of a confrontation.